Hey, good afternoon. Happy Thursday to everybody. Bill O'Leary here, coming to you live as part of our Thirsty Thursday series, a Thursday before Memorial Day. So I'm going to wish everybody in advance have a very restful and safe Memorial Day weekend. And so again, this is Thursday, and so every Thursday I'm coming to you live again as part of our Thirsty Thursday series, where each week I'm going to talk about a different topic: estate planning, elder law, probate, trust administration, that sort of thing. That's sort of what we do here at Legacy Planning Law Group. And so, again, as I like to start off these talks by saying, if you're thirsting for knowledge, boy, have you come to the right place. So, today's topic is how can estate planning address or deal with the troubled child? You know, it seems like every family seems to have sort of one child, maybe not quite a black sheep, but sort of marching to a little different drummer than the rest of the kids. You know, again, people that, kids that sort of, again, go their own way, and giving them an inheritance might pose a problem for them. So, you know, these families have unique challenges when planning for the future, and you need to consider these individual beneficiaries in an honest light, in an honest way, even when sort of the view isn't that terribly pretty. And so these concerns that you may have about an adult child may range from maybe substance abuse, alcohol, drugs, that sort of thing. Maybe sort of a gambling addiction, you know, whether it's just playing the lottery all the time, or maybe it's more than that. You like to go to the poker room, and so forth. Maybe they just plumb just can't save. They've got a hole in their pocket. And even for the child that doesn't have the addiction problem and maybe is a good saver, maybe they're in a troubled marriage. And boy, the inheritance may end up going to the ex-daughter-in-law or son-in-law. These kinds of situations can be dealt with, can be addressed in good estate planning. Good estate planning. So how can you prepare your estate when a problem has grown or developed with a grown adult child? Well, there's different things you can do. Number one, you may decide to not divide your estate equally among your kids. And so maybe you want to disinherit a child. And again, that's, it's sort of a lot to consider doing that, but there may be a variety of reasons why you may want to do that. And frankly, it's more common than you might think. You know, maybe you've already given one child the down payment on a home while another maybe has gone through a couple of divorces, and you might want to make plans for one child to receive their share of the inheritance, maybe through a trust, to protect that inheritance for that child. Maybe you've got a family member who's disabled, and they may benefit more from a generous inheritance than, let's say, a very successful child who has a successful career. And again, that inheritance for the struggling child can be structured properly. If the disabled person is going to continue to receive government benefits, it most certainly needs to be structured correctly so that when it comes time to getting the inheritance, it doesn't disqualify them from those government benefits, Medicaid and SSI, for example. So again, no matter the reason for the unequal distributions, if that is your decision, do make certain to discuss those reasons for the differences with your family, with your kids. Or sometimes the estate planning attorney may suggest including a sort of a statement, a written statement of the reasons that you have. Put it down in your estate planning documents. And this can certainly sort of prevent or greatly reduce the chance down the road that somebody may come in and contest the estate, okay? And at a minimum, even if you don't think it's going to result in a contest, it's going to greatly reduce the chances of sort of ill will or bad blood between the siblings. Another thing you can do, maybe you can change your mind down the road if your sort of wild child ends up getting their act together. So it's important to have a regular evaluation of your estate plan, maybe every 3, 4, 5 years, or certainly more frequently if a big life event occurs. That is always recommended. So if your wayward child, let's say, finds their way and their footing at some point, then that child who maybe you were going to be giving less to, you can go ahead and treat them equally with the rest. So again, when you put together an estate planning, whether it's a will or a trust, it's not a one and done thing, but it constantly needs to be sort of reevaluated as life circumstances and family circumstances change. How about maybe in your estate plan including certain incentives for good behavior, incentives that could continue after you've passed away? So you can use a trust for this purpose. You can have specific provisions in a trust to reward good behavior. So that's what we like to call an incentive trust. It may sort of establish certain goals that have to be met before money is distributed out of the trust to the child beneficiary. Or maybe goals that are tied to completing an educational program, maybe getting a degree from a four-year college, or maintaining employment for a certain period of time, or maybe if they've had some difficulty with addiction, successfully completing a rehabilitation program. Many estate plans will stagger the distribution of the funds, you see, so they'll come out over time. So the heirs may receive distributions over time rather than all at once. So, for example, maybe the estate plan calls for staggered distributions based on ages, what we call sort of an age-based trust. Maybe a certain amount will come to the child when they're 25, another amount when they're 30, 35, that sort of thing. So that's what we like to call an age-based trust. What this does is it prevents the beneficiary from squandering the entire inheritance being received all at once. And so the point is, ideally, as he or she gets older and matures, their financial skills grow, their maturity level is better, and so then they're better equipped at a later age to preserve a large sum of money. Trusts are not as complicated as you might think, and they're a wonderful tool to sort of accomplish this. And their administration is not overly difficult either. People think trust, they're just for the really rich and the really wealthy, or they're really complicated or expensive, and none of that is true. Okay, trusts are excellent tools. They're almost considered sort of the Swiss Army knife of estate planning. And your estate planning attorney can establish or put together a trust that will help you control how the money flows to your heirs, and maybe protect a special needs individual, minimize taxes, and create a legacy. Create a legacy for your family. In fact, the trust that we use here at my firm, Legacy Planning Law Group, we call it our legacy trust, because it's truly a way for you to pass on your legacy to your family. So for families who have someone that you might sort of consider a black sheep, the trust is a perfect tool to protect them from themselves and from their life choices. So, hey, look, if you'd like to know a little bit more about how estate planning can address and help the troubled child, and maybe how we can help, go ahead and book a free 15-minute discovery phone call. We'd love to talk with you. You can book it on our Facebook page, the Book Now button. Just Google us, Legacy Planning Law Group. And this is a complimentary 15-minute, again, sort of introductory or discovery phone call, where we'll get a sense as to sort of your situation and what you'd like to the problem that you'd like to solve, and we can also tell you if we can help you. Okay? So again, we'd love the chance to talk to you. So, hey, look, if you've enjoyed this video, can you please like it, and better yet, if you really enjoyed it, would you mind sharing it with your friends? I say this every week. We're really trying to get the word out about the importance of doing good planning, because so many people don't have anything in place at all. So again, I hope you've enjoyed this talk. How can estate planning help the troubled child? I'm going to give another talk next Thursday at about this time. Again, part of our Thirsty Thursday series. So if you're thirsting for knowledge, we will quench your thirst. So again, hope you have a great Memorial Day weekend. Bill O'Leary signing off for everybody here at the firm Team Legacy. Go make it a great day and make it a better world.